Many men may remain unaware of the deeper motivations that influence women, not due to a lack of care or effort, but because society has misled them regarding the true desires of women and the way we genuinely think. I understand this deeply, having observed how these falsehoods can undermine the bonds between honorable men and their partners. Before we get started, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell, so you don't miss any of my tips for men on how to get the woman of your dreams. And if this video resonates with you, leave a 1 in the comments. If not, leave a 0. Your feedback helps me create better content for you. I've observed how we undermine relationships due to a lack of understanding of our psychological triggers. We have observed ourselves pursuing individuals who are fully aware of how to take advantage of our most profound vulnerabilities. Today, I will reveal each and every one. Not for the purpose of manipulation, but to gain a true understanding of our nature. He who comprehends the intricacies of female psychology remains unshackled by its influence. He conquers it, transforming into the man who commands respect, ignites desire, and proves irresistible to every woman. Dependency on validation. Allow me to begin with our most perilous flaw. We seek validation incessantly, and I refer to addiction in the clinical sense. Each affirmation we receive serves as a momentary boost to our sense of value. Each like, each comment, each compliment nurtures the craving. However, there is a crucial insight that many men overlook. The affirmation we seek the most often eludes us. Excessive validation can lead to a sense of ennui. When you withhold, we become fixated. When you provide just the right amount to spark our desire, that's when we become fully captivated. I recall the time spent with a man who offered me endless praise. Beauty is a fleeting quality, appreciated in the moment but not to be clung to. Recognize it, acknowledge it, and then let it pass, as all things do. Your qualities are truly remarkable. Perfection is an illusion. In a matter of weeks, his words lost all significance to me. Validation that is easily obtained holds no true worth. However, I encountered an individual who was sparing with his praise. He would acknowledge when I looked good, but he wouldn't overly express it. He'd acknowledge my achievements, but he wouldn't worship them. That scarcity rendered his validation invaluable. I noticed that I was putting in extra effort to gain his approval, choosing my attire more carefully for our encounters, and constantly seeking his thoughts on various matters. Here are the thoughts that occupied my mind persistently. What is it about my presence that doesn't resonate with him as it does with others? What changes should I consider to earn his approval? Have I made an error in my words? What is the reason behind his lack of compliments? I must put forth greater effort. I must strive for improvement. Because his approval was rare, it became precious, and I developed a relentless focus on achieving it. How can this vulnerability be harnessed? Cease your role as our supporter. Cease the insistence on our perfection. Begin to exercise discernment in your commendations. When you offer praise, ensure it is precise and well-deserved. This is precisely how it manifests. Incorrect. Your capabilities are truly commendable in all your endeavors. Indeed, your approach to that challenging discussion with your boss today was commendable. You maintained your composure in challenging circumstances. Incorrect. Your beauty is truly remarkable. Indeed, that color enhances the depth of your eyes. Wise decision. What sets them apart? Targeted acknowledgement demonstrates that you genuinely recognize us as unique individuals, rather than merely expressing what you believe we desire to hear. Consider the consequences of missteps in this matter. If you manipulate our need for validation by withholding praise, we will inevitably become clingy and desperate in a matter of weeks. In that case, we will have no choice but to reconsider our regard for you and seek out someone who approaches matters with sincerity. Here is the timeline. Commit to this practice for the next 30 days. After 30 days, if you continue to seek our validation, it may reflect a lack of inner strength. Once we perceive you as weak, altering that view becomes a formidable challenge. Refined method. Implement the 2-week validation cycle. Offer targeted commendation for a span of 3 to 4 days, then ease back a bit for the following 2-3 days. This fosters a constructive habit without coercion. Yet this next flaw is so profound that I find it difficult to acknowledge its presence within me. Emotional instability. Here lies a vulnerability that many women may hesitate to acknowledge. We often find ourselves overwhelmed by the unpredictability of our emotions. It is essential to understand our current position. It is essential to understand your emotions. It is essential to understand the forthcoming events. In moments of uncertainty, we tend to lose our footing. Yet consider the contradiction. The greater the certainty you instill in us, the weaker our attraction becomes. The greater the enigma you uphold, the more our thoughts dwell upon you. Uncertainty breeds fixation. Certainty breeds monotony. I have encountered this personally. When a man laid bare his emotions, when he articulated his intentions with precision, when he removed all doubt, my interest waned. Not due to any fault of his own, but rather because all questions had been resolved. Yet, when a man maintained an air of mystery, when his emotions were not entirely transparent, that was precisely when he occupied my thoughts incessantly. This is the essence of the internal dialogue. Is there genuine affection, or is it merely kindness at play? What could be the reason for his delayed response, unlike his usual promptness? What thoughts occupy his mind at this moment? Is he involved with another person? What is it that makes him so difficult to understand? That relentless questioning transforms into a fixation. If these psychological insights are enlightening you to the true nature of female minds, consider subscribing for more wisdom. I am revealing vulnerabilities that many women may not even be aware of. What I am about to share may stir feelings of frustration towards every woman who has acted in this manner towards you. Research in psychology indicates that intermittent uncertainty can lead to obsessive thinking patterns among women. It is only natural to ponder your complexities when your essence eludes our understanding. How can this vulnerability be leveraged? Exercise discretion in what you reveal. Exercise discretion with your thoughts. Maintain your boundaries. It's essential not to be at everyone's beck and call. Practice the art of patience in your responses. Let us reflect on your thoughts from time to time. Let us examine your actions critically. As soon as we believe we have you fully understood, our attention shifts to seeking out someone more intriguing. Consider the consequences of missteps in this matter. Should you choose to sow chaos and confusion to unsettle us, we will perceive you as unsteady and emotionally manipulative. We will begin formulating our exit strategy in the next 30 days. Keep in mind that when your actions become entirely foreseeable, we drift further away from engagement. Triumph narrative. I observed my friend Jake reshape his dating life through this principle. In the past, he would respond right away, provide detailed explanations, and as a result, women lost interest within weeks. Subsequently, he embraced an air of intentional mystery, leading to second dates, third dates, and genuine connections. What sets them apart? He provided a balance of assurance to foster a sense of security while maintaining an element of intrigue to encourage exploration. Share openly about the majority of your experiences, while keeping a portion of your life shrouded in intrigue. This fosters curiosity while maintaining confidence. What I am about to share regarding our third weakness will challenge your entire understanding of female attraction. Here lies a flaw that may stir your frustration. Your worth is determined by your position. It's more than just your finances. Your standing in society, your response to how others treat you, your demeanor speaks volumes, whether you earn respect, and we must accept it. It is a process of development through adaptation. Throughout history, women who selected men of high status tended to have offspring that thrived. That programming remains an intrinsic part of who we are. We observe all that surrounds us. Consider the manner in which the waiter engages with you, your friends' reactions to you. Consider the poise with which you enter a space. Regardless of your role, be it guiding others or supporting their direction. And we assess in alignment with that understanding. It is not uncommon to observe women choosing to part ways with decent men in favor of those who possess greater status. I've observed our tendency to select the individual who seeks the spotlight, rather than the one who offers genuine care and consideration. I've observed us pursue those whom others desire, not due to superficiality, but because status evokes a deep-seated instinct within us. Here is a truth that may unsettle you. I found myself in the company of a man, drawn by the allure of his desirability to others. He did not possess the most striking appearance. He did not possess great wealth. Yet in every place we found ourselves, the gaze of women was upon us. I observed their thoughts, questioning, who is she? What strategy did she employ to win him over? That instilled in me a sense of victory. I felt a sense of uniqueness, as if I possessed something that others desired. I had little fondness for him, to be honest. However, I felt it was essential to demonstrate my capability to attain him. That is the nature of how status operates within the female perspective. We seek more than merely a good man. We seek a man who commands respect from other women. It is essential to feel selected by an individual who possesses the power of choice. How to leverage this weakness. Understand the distinction between guiding and overpowering. Leading involves providing direction with unwavering resolve, all the while honoring her independence. To dominate is to impose your will upon her, silencing her voice entirely. This is how it manifests in real life. Let us consider the opportunity to experience that new sushi establishment this evening. Your enjoyment is important, but if this doesn't resonate with you, we can explore other options. We shall enjoy sushi tonight. That is the conclusion. She desires to spend time with friends during your date night. I acknowledge your desire to see them. Let us consider rescheduling our date for tomorrow, enhancing the experience in the process. It seems you are prioritizing your friends over our connection once more. That will not occur. Do you perceive the distinction? Guiding recognizes her emotions and collaborates to discover solutions. To dominate is to disregard her emotions and enforce your own desires. The initial step fosters trust and draws in interest. The latter annihilates both. Here is the outcome when you mistake control for confidence. Women may begin to sense a lack of freedom and contemplate their departure. Observe her behavior as she begins to withdraw, crafting justifications for her actions. Ultimately, she may choose to disappear or initiate a conversation about requiring distance. My friend Mike underwent a significant change. He used to be quite controlling, dictating to his girlfriends what they should wear, who they could see, and how they should behave. He faced rejection with a predictable regularity, every 3 months without fail. Then he grasped the distinction between guiding and overpowering. He began offering suggestions rather than issuing demands, honoring boundaries instead of disregarding them. Women now seek his company because they experience safety and respect, free from control. However, this is the essential timeline. Within a span of 90 days, you must prove your true standing. Should we not observe tangible proof of your worth in the real world within 3 months, we will begin to reconsider our decision. Embrace the complexity of your journey, without the need for validation. Let your actions speak for themselves, shrouded in the quiet strength of your resolve. Let us seek them out. Allow others to speak of your achievements in their own words. This fosters genuine appeal, rather than boasting. Yet, it is this ultimate frailty that leads to the notion that virtuous individuals often find themselves at the back of the line. And it stands as the most perilous of them all. Competition reveals our most profound vulnerabilities. We possess a natural inclination towards competition. Our most intense rivalries often arise among women, for recognition, for esteem, for the male perspective. However, consider what elevates this vulnerability to a position of strength. We exert our greatest effort for that which appears to be eluding us. When you are fully committed, we find peace. If another woman desires your attention, we will confront the situation head-on. I must share a truth that weighs heavily on my conscience. My desire for men has often intensified when I noticed other women expressing interest in them. I've noticed that my attraction to men increases when I observe them engaging with other women. I have exerted greater effort in my relationships when I sensed rivalry. It's not a reflection of my character, but rather an instinctual response that competition evokes within us. It resembles the principles of scarcity economics in the realm of relationships. In the presence of abundance, we often overlook its true worth. In times of scarcity, we must confront our desires and strive for what truly matters. I recall feeling indifferent towards a man I was seeing. It wasn't until I observed him at a gathering engaged in conversation with a captivating woman. Her laughter in response to his jokes was a testament to the moment's lightness. Her hand brushed against his arm with a subtle grace. Her gaze lingered on him, suggesting a spark of interest. And here are the thoughts that were coursing through my mind. She possesses a beauty that I may not have. She is engaging in flirtation with my partner. I must assert my presence. I must not allow myself to be consumed by the thought of losing him to her. I must stand firm for what is rightfully mine. In an instant, my perception of him shifted, not as the individual who sought my attention, but as the figure that others admired and desired. And that transformed everything. I transitioned from a state of complacency to one of deliberate effort in seeking his attention, from embracing indifference to succumbing to possessiveness, from uncertainty about my desires to the realization that losing him was not an option. I must reveal a truth that weighs heavily on my mind. I have undermined relationships when I experienced a sense of comfort. When I realized a man would always remain by my side, I found myself losing interest. When I perceived a lack of competition, I ceased my efforts. In the absence of potential loss, excitement remains elusive. How can this vulnerability be harnessed? Do not rely solely on us. Maintain your own existence beyond our connection. Foster camaraderie with your fellow women. It is not intended to evoke envy, but to demonstrate that you embody the qualities that others value. Recognizing your worth in the eyes of others enhances our appreciation for you. When we sense the need to vie for your attention, we put in greater effort. When the possibility of losing you to another arises, we strive to hold on to you with determination. It is not a form of manipulation. It involves grasping the intricacies of female psychology. This ultimate frailty poses the greatest threat of all. Each day you neglect to gain control over it is another day she diminishes her regard for you. Here lies our most profound vulnerability. We seek guidance in our emotions. Regardless of the narratives presented by contemporary feminism, regardless of our expressed desires, at our core, we seek a partner who can guide us through our emotional landscape. Do not let it control us. Guide us forward. One must recognize the distinction. Control is about mastery. Leadership involves guiding others toward a clear path. We seek a person who maintains composure in the face of our emotions, who possesses the clarity to decide when we find ourselves overwhelmed by choices, who can offer a sense of steadiness when everything around us seems tumultuous. I have experienced relationships in which I needed to take on the role of the emotional leader. In that moment, I had to embody strength. In that moment, I was responsible for every choice made. It was indeed a draining experience. It extinguished my interest. In moments where emotional leadership is required, I must remain steadfast and not yield. Embracing surrender is where true strength flourishes. Yet, when I am in the presence of a man who can navigate my emotions without being swayed by them, who possesses the authority to make decisions independently of my consent, who can guide without imposing their will, in those moments, I find the freedom to embrace my femininity completely. That is the moment I can settle into my true essence. That is the moment I feel my most appealing self. I recall a time when I was accompanied by a man amidst a significant challenge in my life. I was experiencing a significant emotional struggle. Many would have attempted to mend my flaws or crumbled alongside me, yet he accomplished neither. He maintained his composure. He absorbed the words without rushing to find solutions. He maintained a calm presence for my emotions, remaining unshaken by their intensity. Here are the thoughts that occupied my mind. He remains composed while I find myself in a state of distress. He possesses the strength to rise above this circumstance. I find a sense of security in his presence. I may crumble, but he remains steadfast. This is the essence of true strength. When the moment arrived, he calmly led me toward a resolution. He refrained from taking control. He acknowledged my feelings without judgment. He guided me through the turmoil to a state of understanding. That exemplifies leadership grounded in emotion, and it holds an undeniable appeal to women. This principle has proven effective in real life. My friend Jake struggled with women until he embraced the principles of emotional leadership. He would respond to every emotional upheaval, attempt to resolve every issue, and succumb to panic when we were in distress. Yet, he began to maintain his composure amidst our tempests. In just 3 months, women found themselves drawn to him rather than avoiding his presence. My sister's boyfriend has achieved complete mastery of this. She frequently challenged him, stirred up conflict, and expressed her emotions in dramatic ways. Yet he remained unperturbed. He maintained his composure. Now, she has ceased to test him, for her trust in his strength is unwavering. How can this vulnerability be utilized? Recognize the distinction between providing steadfast support and stepping in to save her. As her steady presence, you maintain your composure in her moments of emotional turmoil, refraining from attempting to resolve her feelings. In your role as her protector, you feel a surge of anxiety when she is distressed and instinctively seek to fix her troubles. This is how it manifests in actual circumstances. She returns home, burdened by her frustrations regarding her boss. Inaccurate reply: do not allow it to disturb your peace. Simply disregard him. Consider the following course of action. Appropriate reaction. Your dedication is evident, and it can be disheartening when your efforts go unnoticed. I recognize the impact this has on you. She finds herself burdened by a conflict with her friend. Inaccurate reply. You're allowing your thoughts to spiral. It's likely she didn't intend it in that manner. Appropriate reaction. It seems you are experiencing pain due to a sense of being undervalued in that friendship. That sounds incredibly challenging. Observe the distinction. You are acknowledging her emotions without attempting to alter or resolve them. You are recognizing their presence and demonstrating your comprehension of her feelings. Here's the outcome of mismanaging competition. Should you resort to jealousy as a means of control, or engage in flirtation with others to inflict pain, we will perceive you as lacking emotional maturity and resorting to manipulation. We will either resume our games or seek a more stable alternative, profound understanding. The essence lies in being genuinely appealing to others rather than merely putting on an act for our own advantage. There exists a significant distinction between authentic desire and the mere act of seeking to project an image of desirability. Keep in mind that each day you neglect to demonstrate emotional leadership is another day she may doubt your strength to support her in the long run. Refined method. Identify the most prominent weakness among these 5 in her character. Some women seek affirmation, while others prioritize stability. Adjust your strategy to address her main vulnerability for optimal impact. Having identified our 5 weaknesses, let us explore how to navigate them wisely, ensuring we do not become the type of individual we would ultimately disdain. Principled application. With an understanding of our vulnerabilities, you stand at a crossroads. You can take advantage of them or seek to comprehend them. We can be swayed or guided. This knowledge can be wielded to inflict pain or to enhance our capacity for love. Understand this distinction as it holds great importance. Exploitation takes advantage of our vulnerabilities for personal gain. Comprehension leverages our vulnerabilities to forge connections and facilitate our development. Manipulation exploits our vulnerabilities to gain control over us. True leadership recognizes our shortcomings and steers us toward overcoming them with resilience and purpose. I will demonstrate precisely how this appears, leveraging the need for external approval, withholding acknowledgement to instill a yearning for your validation, subsequently leveraging that yearning to dictate our actions, comprehending the essence of validation, dependency, exercising discernment in our commendations fosters authentic relationships and nurtures our inner strength. Harnessing the unknown. Instigating disorder and uncertainty to undermine our stability and foster reliance on you. Embracing the unknown, preserving an air of intrigue while ensuring emotional steadiness in times of need. What sets them apart is the purpose behind actions and the results they yield. Are you leveraging this understanding to extract something from us or to offer something in return? Are you exploiting our vulnerabilities for your own gain? Or are you genuinely aiming to assist us in evolving into improved versions of ourselves? I have encountered individuals who took advantage of my vulnerabilities, and those experiences have left me feeling shattered. Yet, I have also encountered individuals who recognized these vulnerabilities, and those connections fortified my resilience. The principled approach to applying this understanding. Utilize it to gain insight into our actions and motivations. Utilize it to engage with our actions in a more constructive manner. Utilize it to foster more constructive relationships. Utilize it to aid us in transcending our own constraints. Because the aim is not to dominate us. The aim is to embrace ourselves in a manner that inspires us to strive for our highest potential. However, there exists a crucial insight regarding vulnerabilities that transforms the entire perspective. Profound reality. It is essential to grasp the nuances of vulnerabilities that women may experience. They are not shortcomings. They are characteristics. Each weakness I've outlined has its own significance. Seeking validation can be a pathway to self-improvement. Emotional uncertainty binds us to our relationships. Awareness of status enables us to select resilient companions. Competition serves as a catalyst, urging us to reach our highest potential. The desire for leadership guides us in identifying individuals capable of managing our intricacies. The issue lies not in our weaknesses themselves. Challenges arise when these vulnerabilities are provoked by unsuitable individuals. When our desire for affirmation is manipulated by those with narcissistic tendencies. When our uncertainty is influenced by others. When our sensitivity to status is exploited by those seeking to dominate us. When the triggers of our competition are turned into weapons against us. when our desire for leadership is mistaken for yielding. When these weaknesses are recognized and respected by the right individual, they transform into strengths. The pursuit of validation transforms into a catalyst for growth. Our uncertainty transforms into a sense of anticipation for what lies ahead. Our awareness of status transforms into a sense of pride in our companion. Our challenges transform into unwavering commitment and allegiance. Our desire for leadership transforms into trust and acceptance. I have encountered both perspectives in this matter. I have encountered individuals who exploited my vulnerabilities to cause me pain. I have encountered individuals who recognized my vulnerabilities and guided me in transforming them into strengths. The change was profound. In the presence of unsuitable companions, my vulnerabilities diminished my strength. With the right companions, my vulnerabilities became my sources of strength. The inquiry at hand is not about whether you ought to be aware of our shortcomings. Consider the kind of individual you will become with this newfound understanding. Command respect. To understand female psychology effectively and ethically, consider these principles. Focus on your own development first. Do not wield this understanding as a means to sidestep the journey of personal development. Utilize it as a compass for your journey towards self-improvement. Attain authentic respect through your accomplishments. Cultivate genuine emotional resilience by embracing discipline. Foster genuine intrigue by leading a life rich in experiences. Act with unwavering integrity. Leverage your insight into our vulnerabilities to support us, rather than take advantage of us. Assist us in our development. Do not confine us to limitations. Encourage our highest potential. Refrain from provoking our deepest fears. Become the individual deserving of our admiration. Understand this fundamental reality. No amount of psychological insight can aid you if you lack the value of your own company. Recognizing our weaknesses does not inherently lead to strength. Understanding our triggers will not instill confidence if you are feeling insecure. If you are not evolving, attempting to control us will not elevate your value. The individual who genuinely understands the intricacies of female psychology is the one who cultivates an irresistible character, relying on substance rather than deceitful tactics. He recognizes our vulnerabilities not to take advantage of them, but to support us more effectively. He understands our triggers not to exploit us, but to prevent unintentional harm. He perceives our psychology not as a contest to conquer, but as an individual to comprehend. That is the individual we hold in high regard. That is the individual we place our confidence in. That is the individual we select to share our vulnerabilities with. That is the individual we must strive to keep close. Now you are aware of our 5 vulnerabilities: dependency on validation, emotional instability, sensitivity to status, triggers of competition, and a desire for leadership. You're aware of their functioning. You possess the ability to evoke their responses in a principled manner. Understand the consequences of missteps. And above all, you understand how to apply this wisdom to elevate yourself as a man. However, this is your task to undertake. Identify a single weakness and dedicate the next 7 days to its improvement. Opting for validation addiction. Focus on offering specific earned praise rather than vague compliments. Embrace uncertainty by applying the 70-30 principle. Embrace clarity in your actions, yet allow a veil of intrigue to surround certain aspects. When you prioritize status sensitivity, concentrate on developing a single domain where you truly shine. Focus on cultivating an inner strength that draws others to you, relying on your self-assurance rather than external achievements. In your pursuit of leadership, focus on maintaining composure in one emotional situation this week. Embrace your challenge. Assess which of these 5 weaknesses is most pronounced in the women in your vicinity. Observe their actions, recognize their tendencies, and adjust your strategy as needed. Evaluate this. When a woman looks for affirmation from you, employ the specific praise method and observe her reaction closely. You'll notice the change right away. The decision rests with you. Will you employ this for manipulation or for comprehension? To manipulate or to cherish more deeply? To govern or to guide? Because the individual who opts for wisdom rather than manipulation gains far more than mere affection. He earns the girl's respect. He earns her trust. He earns her unwavering commitment. He sees her strengths, not her flaws. If this has broadened your understanding of female psychology, consider showing your appreciation and subscribing for further insights that often remain unspoken by many women. Consider what you should focus on next. My video on the notion that if she truly cares, she may choose to overlook you. Recognizing our shortcomings is merely the first step on the path to growth. It is essential to grasp the dynamics of our testing behaviors and the reasons we may distance ourselves from those we hold dear. This video explores the underlying psychology of why women assess the men they value and provides insights on how to navigate those assessments successfully. Engage with that video. Your profound grasp of female psychology is at your fingertips. This shows your desire to grow as a person. If this video resonates with you, please share your thoughts in the comments. Don't know what to say? Speak up. I dare you. You've clearly worked hard to get to this point. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider taking that step now. Make a commitment and be a part of this journey.